Time to release the Kraken.
Live from Dark Pine Studios is recorded without edits or overdubs. This episode features Danville's own Matt Crowder. We hope you enjoy. If you do, give us a like and a subscribe.
My name is Matt Crowder, and this song is called Don't Call Me Outlaw. Don't call me outlaw, just 'cause I'm wrong. And if that strikes a nerve, well, that ain't my fault. 'Cause I ain't dropping names in every song I sing. I ain't no outlaw, I'm just raw. I still think them good old boys are great, so I'm not here putting them to shame. Seem like nowadays the ones who try to claim are the very reason I refuse a name. So don't call me outlaw, just 'cause I'm raw. And if that strikes a nerve, well, that ain't my fault. 'Cause I ain't dropping names in every song I sing. I ain't no outlaw, I'm just raw. My only charge is failure to maintain, and I ain't never ever robbed a train. Well, I ain't stole a thing, I ain't no Jesse James, and whiskey ain't the only thing I drink. So don't call me outlaw, just 'cause I'm wrong. And if that strikes a nerve, well, that ain't my fault. 'Cause I ain't dropping names in every song I sing. I ain't no outlaw, I'm just raw. I may be digging my own grave. You might even think that I'm insane. Just the way I think, I ain't throwing shade. I'm just tired of having to explain. I ain't no outlaw, I just write songs. And if that strikes a nerve, well, that ain't my fault. 'Cause I ain't dropping names in every song I sing. I ain't no outlaw, I'm just raw. Well, I ain't dropping names in every song I sing. I ain't no outlaw, I'm just raw. I ain't no outlaw, I'm just raw. This next song is called If I Was a Preacher. It's been a couple years ago, back in 23, some friends of mine asked me would I marry them, and at the time I was not ordained, so they agreed to pay for it to have me do their wedding. And by no means am I a preacher, but that's where this song came from. It's called If I Was a Preacher. If I was a preacher, I would preach the word. I would speak the gospel to the ones who haven't heard. And I'd tell the congregation of glory to behold. And I would pray for them, an everlasting soul. But I'm a sinner, Lord, I ain't no good out here on the sidewalk or somewhere in the woods smoking left-handed cigarettes, playing hide and seek with you. I do all the hiding, but you find me when I do. If I was a preacher, I'd apologize to God. He would understand, 'cause a dog is just a dog, and a dog is what I am, tearing up the house again. I may be made to serve a man, but the Lord is my best friend. 'Cause I'm a sinner, Lord, I ain't no good out here on the sidewalk or somewhere in the woods smoking left-handed cigarettes, playing hide and seek with you. I do all the hiding, but you find me when I do. I know it's hard to understand simple plans devised by mice and men. Preachers and poets have a lot in common, though, searching for the answers to the questions they don't know. They're both the same. It's in their hearts, it's true, to keep knocking at the door of the one that's within you. I'm a sinner, Lord, I ain't no good out here on the sidewalk or somewhere in the woods smoking left-handed cigarettes, playing hide and seek with you. I do all the hiding, but you find me when I do. I do all the hiding, but you find me when I do. This next song is going to be a little shift. I'm a little bit of Saturday night, Sunday morning, and that was Sunday morning, and now there's some Saturday night for you. Feeling kind of rough when I wrote this song. You know, sometimes when you play all the time, you have ups and downs with shows, and sometimes the crowd just ain't into it no matter what you do, and sometimes they don't even show up at all. So I wrote this song kind of to remind myself or to make myself feel better, I guess. I don't know. It might be true. It might not be. Who knows? It's called Honky Tonk Hero. I'm a honky tonk hero in a honky tonk bar, but the only blue ribbon I want is from a BBR. You may think I'm a zero, that ain't no star, but I'm a honky tonk hero in a honky tonk bar. Well, I'm a jukebox full of quarters rolling out country gold. I'm a bourbon-soaked sawdust floor and a cloud of smoke. Well, I'm a six-string picking, finger-licking son of a be your cup of tea in a coffee shop. At the end of every song you might hear a pin drop. But I'm a six-string picking, finger-licking son of a gun. You ought to see me shine under the neon lights of home. 'Cause I'm a honky-tonk hero in a honky-tonk bar. But the only blue ribbon I want is drinking PBR. You may think I'm a zero, that I ain't no star, but I'm a honky-tonk hero in a honky-tonk bar. Well, I'm a six-string picking, finger-licking son of a gun. Put that fiddle in my hands, I'll show you how it's done. 'Cause I'm a honky-tonk hero in a honky-tonk bar. But the only blue ribbon I want is drinking PBR. You may think I'm a zero, that I ain't no star, but I'm a honky-tonk hero in a honky-tonk bar. Well, I'm a honky-tonk hero in a honky-tonk bar. But the only blue ribbon I want is from a PBR. I'm living that high life, champagne in a jar. 'Cause I'm a honky-tonk hero in a honky-tonk bar. I'm a honky-tonk hero in a honky-tonk bar. This is a brand new one, so I hope I can remember all the words to it. Just wrote this last week. It's called Bad Time. Staring at that clock, but the time keeps standing still. My hands are all but tied, and these wounds they just won't heal. But I'll find it in that bottle for a minute, howling wine. It's a good night for a bad time. It's a good night for a bad time. Tomorrow I'll be wishing I could rewind back before my head was hurting, all because I lost my mind. It's a good night for a bad time. Well, that sun is sinking low back behind them broken blinds. And your memories returning like that Monday morning grind. Even though they're bloodshot neon, the lights don't burn my eyes. It's a good night for a bad time. It's a good night for a bad time. Tomorrow I'll be wishing I could rewind back before my head was hurting, all because I lost my mind. It's a good night for a bad time. You might find me dancing with a lady on my arm, but ain't no hourglass gonna send me to the farm. 'Cause it'll be last call when I'm down to my last dime. It's a good night for a bad time. It's a good night for a bad wishing I could rewind back before my head was hurting, all because I lost my mind. It's a good night for a bad time. It's a good night for a bad time. Tomorrow I'll be wishing I could rewind back before my head was hurting, all because I lost my mind. It's a good night for a bad time. Yeah, it's a good night for a bad time. This next one I'll do is called I Get High. I wrote this a few years ago, and of my songs so far, it seems to get the biggest crowd reaction. It's a lot of repetition, so it's an easy one to sing along to. Rolling out of bed in the morning, the papers on the table and the light, it goes right to my head, all the stuff that I just read. Burn it all, and that would be alright, 'cause I get high on a mountain, I get high on the stage, I get high, high on your loving, and I get high to keep me sane. My old Jeep ain't got no heat, but it's still running. It's only broken down a couple times. The transmission's going bad. Hell, I ain't even mad. I'll be smoking into town tomorrow night, 'cause I get high on a mountain, I get high on the stage, I get high, high on your loving, and I get high to keep me sane. What you got to say about my expression? I just close my eyes when I smile. I wish you all the best, 'cause I ain't got no stress. I'll be blasting off straight into the sky, 'cause I get high on a mountain, and I get high on the stage, I get high, high on your loving, and I get high to keep me sane. Yeah, I get high to keep me sane. This next one is called Old Trucks That Run. I just got engaged back in October. We just celebrated our 5th anniversary as a couple at the beginning of March. But she'd always complain to me that I never write her any love songs, so I wrote this one as a response to that. Somehow truck ended up in the title. You explain that to me? I don't know. Here we go. Old Trucks That Run. Truck's as old as me, it gets me A to B, running on a prayer and a dime, while my dreams turn into dust, floor pan's full of rust. It's a wonder how the hell it still drives. But I got you, the dog, the trailer we call home, and an old truck that runs to get me by. Bills pile up each day between the debts I can't repay. There's a long list of things that I can't buy. I may just end up taking all this money I ain't making, but put it on the line and let it ride. 'Cause I got you, the dog, the trailer we call home, and an old truck that runs to get me by. The kind of things you don't take for granted. Love won't grow until that seed gets planted. Simple things in life when it comes to harvest time. Even though it may not go how we planned it, I still got you, the dog, the trailer we call home, and an old truck that runs to get me by. Don't sound like a lot compared to all that we ain't got. I wouldn't trade it for another life. 'Cause when my day is through, I know that I'd want to do it all again just one more time. With you, the dog, the trailer we call home, and an old truck that runs to get me by. The kind of things you don't take for granted. Love won't grow until that seed gets planted. Simple things in life when it comes to harvest time. Though it may not go just how we planned it, I still got you, the dog, the trailer we call home, and an old truck that runs to get me by. I still got you, the dog, the trailer we call home, and an old truck that runs to get me by. See, if I can remember all the words of this one's called Lemons. It's about having anxiety. 'cause I get a funny feeling the world's coming to an end. Since being a spiral, it's all I do is idle. Some days I can't even get out of bed. Try to pull myself together for the sake of what is clever. I wonder if I'm loony instead. I just take a breather and proceed on with procedure and remember what the old folks said. When life hands you lemons, have yourself a lemonade. Other people eating peaches while you're still so busy reaching for a cozy little spot in the shade. A little make you go bananas till it puts you in pajamas, but you try your best to keep it cool. Another day, another dollar for the ring around the collar and a glass of lemonade or two. Well, I could bring my back forever, and it's really just whatever. I probably should have gone back to school, but now we're in the present and the past is so irrelevant. I'm pretty good at playing the fool. So I pick up all the pieces and admit that in a fetus there's a lesson in the golden rule. Life is pretty bitchin' when you're upright in position with a glass of lemonade or two. So when life hands you lemons, have yourself a lemonade. Other people eating peaches while you're still so busy reaching for a cozy little spot in the shade. A little make you go bananas till it puts you in pajamas, but you try your best to keep it cool. Another day, another dollar for a ring around the collar and a glass of lemonade or two. Well, I'm anxious on arrival, hanging on by a thread. My vital signs are vital, and there's an existential dread. I'm surviving on survival, most times living in my head. And I repeat the cycle until I wake up dead. So life hands you lemons, have yourself a lemonade. Other people eating peaches while you're still so busy reaching for a cozy little spot in the shade. A little make you go bananas till it puts you in pajamas, but you try your best to keep it cool. Another day, another dollar for a ring around the collar and a glass of lemonade or two. When life hands you lemons, have yourself a lemonade. Other people eating peaches while you're still so busy reaching for a cozy little spot in the shade. A little make you go bananas till it puts you in pajamas, but you try your best to keep it cool. Another day, another dollar for a ring around the collar and a glass of lemonade or two. Another day, another dollar for a ring around the collar and a glass of lemonade or two. Another day, another dollar for a ring around the collar and a glass of lemonade or two. All those other songs are brand new. They haven't really been recorded other than just like demos and stuff at the house. But this one I have recorded. But it's called The Ballad of William Henry Hawker. This is a true story about William Henry Hawker. He pushed broom at a place called Irma's, where not even the DDs order water. And according to the law, Hawker won't no saint. I heard he spent some time in prison for getting busted with a little cocaine. But ask anyone who knew him just who Hawker was. They'll tell you about his heart, how it was kind and full of love. Hey there, brother man, that's what he'd always say, let her rip, potato chip, and he'd be on his way. He never claimed to be no hero when they laid him in his grave. Just a worn and weathered cowboy with no women left to save. In his old Michelin hat, he gave some great advice. But did you ever hear about the time that he saved somebody's life? It was late one night at the sunrise, out on Westover Drive. He was chatting up the cashier, keeping busy killing time, when two men came busting in with pistols in their hands. Give us all your money, or we'll shoot you where you stand. But when Hawker saw that poor girl cry, he produced a deadly stare. Y'all put them damn guns away before it gets nasty up in here. The thieves just stood there stunned, not knowing what to do. Well, who is this crazy old man? And is he packing too? They didn't take too much time to think, and out the door they ran. But there won't no steel in Hawk's coat pocket. It was just the shape of his hand. Hey there, brother man, that's what he'd always say. Let her rip, potato chip, and he'd be on his way. He never claimed to be no hero when they laid him in his grave. Just a worn and weathered cowboy with no women left to save. The Hawker passed away some time ago. I'm sorry to have to tell. Perhaps someday we'll meet again, and until then, I wish him well. Hey there, brother man, that's what he'd always say. Let her rip, potato chip, and he'd be on his way. He never claimed to be no hero when they laid him in his grave. Just a worn and weathered cowboy with no women left to save. Just a worn and weathered cowboy with no women left to save.
So we have with us today Mr. Matt Crowder.
Good to be here.
Yeah, man. So, Matt, tell me a little bit about yourself, your name and where you're from and all that kind of good stuff.
So, my name is Matt Crowder. I'm from Danville, Virginia, by way of Ringgold. I just say Danville because most people would recognize that before they would recognize Ringgold. But Ringgold is basically the county. So, if you think of Danville City, Ringgold is the country part of it, you know. You know, I've been playing music for, since I was a kid, a little thing. We always had instruments around the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Dad played in bands and stuff. And so there was always a keyboard or guitar sitting around. And I remember at 3 years old, just kind of banging away at the keyboard, making up songs. I have no recollection of what they are now, but I'm sure he could tell you. and
maybe he wouldn't want to tell you either.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, at 3 years old, you know.
I was probably like plagiarizing some song I'd heard before, or just changing the words around to something that I thought was cool. But I remember specifically the two of us kind of sitting down with a guitar. I could not play yet. And he was like, let's write a song together.
Oh, wow.
So I would feed him lines, and he'd make them work.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I think it was something about like the Beatles, because growing up, Dad was a huge Beatles fan, so I was a huge Beatles fan as well.
Well, of course, yeah.
But on the flip side of that, it was Hank Williams. So I grew up with Hank Williams and the Beatles. Those were like my two first like favorite artists, which they're vastly different in a lot of ways.
No.
When it comes to lyrically and musically, but both of them had a really good sense of writing pop songs.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And I think that might have had an influence on me, because when I write, like I tend to like try to find a hook of some kind that's like really catchy.
Yeah. One of the big things about doing this series is getting people to be able to find you. So how do people contact you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram. On Instagram, I think it's the official Matt Crowder.
The official Matt.
Right.
Okay.
There's another Matt Crowder who's a rapper.
Oh, okay.
That's not me.
Okay.
As you can probably tell.
No.
But,
just a little bit of difference there.
So I know it sounds like a little pretentious, but just the official Matt Crowder. And then on Facebook, if you look me up, I think my profile picture, I'm wearing a cowboy hat, so
Okay.
easy to spot.
Have you got a website?
I do not have a website. I am on like streaming services though. So if you type in my name on any streaming service, whether it be Apple or YouTube, Spotify,
YouTube, and all that kind of good stuff,
you'll find me. You might have to look a little deeper past the hip hop stuff, because that's a little bit more popular. But
they can't find you.
they can find me. Yeah.
All right, cool. I know this is probably a little redundant, but how do you write your songs, and where do you get your influences from?
I tend to just get lucky, honestly. I very rarely sit down with like the purpose of writing. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as I'll be sitting on the couch or driving in the car, and then I'll like think of something out of the blue, and then that plants the seed that eventually grows into something that's complete. But I don't know. I try to write things that I think are cool, basically. I'm a big fan of country music. Let's see. Like I said, I tend to write for a hook. Like that's if I don't have a good hook, I don't really. It doesn't go anywhere,
right?
And I don't waste my time on it. If I feel like I have something, then I'll charge forward with it.
So do you find that you get the hook first, and then develop the song around that, or does the idea for the song come and then you develop the lyrics? Or
well, sometimes if I have a good line, I can either shape around that,
right,
or it might just be a verse or something, and then from there I have to come up with something good to keep that line.
Yeah.
So it's like in order to save this line, I have to come up with something even better for the hook, or at least repetitive enough where it won't annoy the hell out of people. So.
Yeah, I have a tendency to do that too. Annoy the hell out of people. Tell me about the songs you did today. All of them are new songs?
Except for a couple of them. All of those were written, with the exception of I Get High and William Henry Hawker. All of those last songs, all those other songs were written in 24.
Okay.
So they're pretty new.
So you got an album cooking, or?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay.
Last year I made it like a point to release like a video of a song each month.
Right. And
that's where that came about. So
okay.
like posting those songs, like I feel like I had to have something every month that was new. But the first one I did, Don't Call Me Outlaw, was kind of that was like the first one I wrote of the N24
think I wrote that maybe in January of 24. That's another cool thing about posting one video a month is you can kind of like go back in time and see, oh, I wrote it in this month of this year.
Yeah.
And I wrote it in January of 24, and it was kind of a response to the state of country music, especially when it comes to outlaw country music.
Yeah.
I love Willie Nelson. I love Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, Johnny Paycheck. I mean, the list goes on, but...
all them no-name fellas.
Right. However, like, and I love that style. It was clever. It was rowdy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I try to, like, aspire to be, is clever and rowdy.
Not necessarily in that order, but at least in some order.
Right. So, like, and it just irks me every time I hear, like, an artist, like, talking about, like, you know, they're this outlaw country singer, and every other song they're just dropping Willie Nelson's name or Waylon Jennings' name.
Yeah.
So that song was kind of my response to that. It's like, if that's what it is, then I'm not that.
Yeah.
I'm not dropping names in every song I sing.
Yeah.
We can do better.
So where can most folks find you? I mean, as far as
play,
where do you like to play?
I play all over, like, North Carolina and Virginia. So, like, at the beginning of every month, I post a flyer that has all my dates for the month, and then I usually try to do a weekly as well. But I played up here at Maple Street.
Right.
We do the Fat Frog. If you ever make it down to Danville, you might find me at the casino.
So you've been playing the casino a bit?
Yeah, about twice a month.
Okay.
Because
I know you get down here to Maple Street about once a month or twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
And any places any other places that deserve a good mention?
Yeah. All right, my brain had to buffer for a second.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Mine buffers all day long, so don't worry about it.
So every Sunday, I host an open mic at a place called Two Witches in Danville. That's every Sunday, 2 to 6.
Any memorable gigs or any favorite gigs that you recall?
Yeah, I have a couple. Occasionally, I play with Megan Doss, and we did a opening spot for Parmalee.
Oh wow, nice!
And this was November of 19. We did the show, and at the time I had just come out with my first, like, CD, and so I set up a little table with, like, all the CDs lined up. You know, I didn't sell any. So I was feeling kind of bummed.
Yeah.
It was like, which, I mean, I know that it should not have mattered, because no one was there to see me anyway.
Yeah.
They were there for Parmalee. But I was hoping that at least maybe, like, one person would be like, oh, we like what you did. We'll get a CD. Well, that didn't happen. So I was standing there talking to a friend of mine who he has a DJ business and a rental business. He was at the show. So we're sitting there talking, and this pretty girl comes up. And she's like, I think you know my dad. I was like, oh, okay. And she told me, and he's a bass player that runs in similar circles in the music scene, local music scene. And she was like, can we get a picture? I said, yeah, we can do that. So we took the picture, and like I said, I was feeling kind of low.
Yeah.
So I'm not really smiling in the picture.
Yeah.
A couple months later, I ran into her, or let me slow down. Let me back up a little bit.
All right.
We take the picture. She walks away, and my buddy is like, "Hey, man, there you go." And I said, "Man, I'll never see her again.
Yeah.
That's just a one and done thing." And a couple months later, sure enough, I was hosting an open mic, and she showed up. She had we kind of said hey to each other, but she had on these corral boots, and I don't know if you know anything about corral boots. They're very ornate. They have all these sequins and stitching patterns on them. they're very feminine as well. And jokingly, as she was leaving, I was like, I like them boots. I need to get me a pair just like them. It's like, send me the link. And sure enough, that night she got in my DMs and
she sent you a link.
Sent me a link. And then from then on, we started dating, and now we're engaged.
Yep.
So that's a pretty memorable concert, I would say. The first time I met
kind of
my
nice
soon-to-be
that you
wife.
were down. It's kind of nice that you weren't all up and everything about that. So yeah. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
So I guess that was kind of a memorable show. Memorable show.
It was the night I met my soon-to-be wife.
Yep, there you go. So again, just so that we're clear, how can everybody contact you?
Just through Facebook. If I guess I can shout out my email. It's just mattcrowdermusic@yahoo. If you want to contact me about a booking or something.
There you go. And one last question. What's one thing that you wish everybody knew about you and your music?
That's a good question. That I mean it. That I mean it.
Yeah.
I hope if anybody takes anything away from any of my songs is they're all true and I mean them.
Good deal.
Simple.
That's the name of the game, man. And with that, get the heck out of here. We're done. So yeah, good job.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man.